So here's I just stepped away for a moment to get a piece of wire so I could show an example of how not to do this. If in the past this is how you've done it, I'm not going to say you got to go back and change it, but and it probably doesn't matter that much when you're dealing with individual wires. But when you're going to be doing this in a harness, in a bundle of say 7 to 10 wires, it's just going to make a cleaner harness loop if you don't do it this way. So remember what I had done just a moment ago is that I sort of fan out these stranded wires, and I intertwine them kind of like when you intertwining your fingers, and then I can twist them together. I guess the other way that's sort of popular in the sort of the shade tree electrical wiring schools is to twist the ends and then somehow either twist them twist them together this way, which is kind of like what you would do with solid core wire and with a nut, when that's not really that great, or you would twist them around this way. Now, yeah, that's okay too, but you can see that by the time you finish soldering that and putting some shrink wrap, it's going to be larger. When you compare that to this, it's just going to be harder to make that. Now this is a larger wire, so I should probably be comparing these, but this just gives you a smoother finished diameter. Here you can see I'm clearly exceeding the diameter of the wire, and it's going to have a lot of undulation. So it's partially cosmetic, and also from a functional standpoint, it just will give you a tighter bundle. So that's just a little tip. Okay, so I'm back to the twist and solder method of connecting the 10-pin MOLEX to your harness. So what I've done here is I've organized the wires that are coming out of the harness. I'm using a little clip here. If you've got a clothespin or something, it'll probably help you get this organized. I've pre-cut all of my wires. You can see I've got one here is a little bit longer. I guess I'm going to just live with that. The connector, as you recall, the clip is going to be on the front of the SolidStatePowerBox. So the connector lays down like this, and so we're kind of doing it in reverse. So planning this out, the bottom row of wires here, I'm going to have 4 of them I'm going to be soldering in and connecting to the harness. So there's another one that's an accessory, but it's not really part of this harness. So I have to deal with these 4 here. The shrink tubing is already on there. I've sort of cut it back, so I've got enough room to work. The large overall, and then there's individual ones that are stuffed up inside. I'll have to pull them down, use a pair of these tweezers and pull them down out of there. So going by the functional diagram that's been color coded, on the right hand side here, we're going to have a red unswitched power. That's on line 6. On 7, whoops, I've got this reversed here. I'm sorry. The next wire is the 7 is the orange green, which is here next to the red. Pin 8 is the red switch power for an accessory. Again, that's the other wire coming from somewhere else, which is not coming out of the harness. Pin 9 is the orange red, and then 10 is the orange white. So I have these 2 reversed again. Okay, so turning those back around. So here we are. So red, orange green, orange red, orange white, and then the R2 will be in the middle. Okay, and so those will be connected just like this with the red in the middle, number 8. So we'll be connecting it like that. Okay, then we'll go on to the other. Okay, so I've got my 4 bottom row, or actually it's the rows that are closest to the lock. I've got them all fanned out. This middle one is the accessory. I'm not going to be connecting that at the moment. So let's start off with the reds. Again, there's 2 reds on the side. That's the primary. I'm going to fan those out a little bit better. So I'm going to interweave them, and you just sort of push them a little bit until they're just like if you were interweaving your fingers. And a couple times there's a stray wire, but that's fine. So now I start to twist these, and it's not that big a deal on the first one because you're free to twist the whole connector, but as we go down the line, you're not going to be able to twist the individual, the whole connector. So you're really just twisting the wire around the individual strands, and the wire is not twisting. So you can see that I've got that one pretty well done. I'm going to go ahead and just show that I can do this without having to solder first. So I'm going to go to the next one. Here I've got these again fanned out. Stick them together. Now, when you're doing this, you don't want to, if you're kind of ham-fisted, you'll start pulling on the other wire and loosening it up. So it's probably actually safer to, rather than doing what I'm doing right now, to go ahead and solder that one that's interleaved, rather than put some stress on it when you're twisting this one. But I'll just show that I can do this without twisting the harness. Okay, so one's not quite as clean, but it's not too bad. I'm overlaying the insulation a little bit, but you can see that I have my first 2, and I'm going to go ahead and continue on to the next 2 and solder those, and I'll pull the shrink tube down. Not too bad. Again, I've double checked and triple checked that I'm connecting the proper wires together. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this up, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back now after having finished going through successfully through each wire pair and twisting, soldering, twisting, soldering, twisting, soldering. That way, by doing it that way, you don't load this twisted mesh without having it soldered as you're doing the next one. So it is a little bit safer. Then I basically pulled this shrink tubing down and got access to the individual heat shrink tubes for each individual wire. So I'll pull all these down, and you'll see that it's actually a fairly compact bundle that we're going to have here. That by doing the intertwine twist, we're going to keep this down to being very, very close to the original size. And I'm not using a real heavy-duty shrink tubing here because we're going to be wrapping this around as well. We have this extra wire, which is something that doesn't come out of the harness. So that's what it's going to look like. And I'll shrink tube these or heat these and shrink them down, and then I'll move on to the next. Okay.